an introduction to God. Mitswah, instructions. 12. Mishpat, good judgment. Being rational. At long last we are ready to return to the 19th Mizmowr, the very first passage cited in this introduction to God. This time, we will take it from the beginning so that we come to appreciate how the psalm shapes our understanding of the Torah. Dowd's lyrics acknowledge that he was the one who was inspired to scribe these insights, beginning with the realization that creation was the result of an extraordinarily precise calculation. In the words which follow, Dowd succinctly and eloquently conveys the Torah's role in his life and ours. His message resonates as beautifully now as it did 3,000 years ago. On behalf of, La, for, the eternal and glorious leader, Ha-Nazak, the unending and everlasting splendor and majesty of the ultimate director, the one who endeavors to continuously guide, Mizmowr, the lyrics of a song, Mizmowr, poetic words written to be sung to a melody, of, La, Dowd, the beloved, commonly known as David. The heavens, Ha-Shamim, the realm of stars and universe, quantify the unit of measure, exactly and accurately, Sapar, recount and relate, number and record, while providing a census to convey, of the manifestation of power and the glorious presence, Kabod, the abundance and richness, the energy and 669 massiveness, the elegance and great beauty, as well as the rewarding gift of God, El, the Almighty. Its spreading out in a flat expanse, Ha-Rakia, its expansion and transformation into matter which is round, yet thin, makes conspicuous, Nagad, makes known, enabling a verdict, reporting this information for a purpose, declaring the message which presents and acknowledges, his handiwork, Marseh Yadehu, a means to evaluate and ponder his actions, influence, achievements a compound of Ma, to question and Asar, to engage and act. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 19:1. Dowd revealed that we can use the stars to compute creation's timeline. Doing so, we have concluded that the universe is 14 billion years old, marking the phase when energy cooled to the temperature of quark confinement, allowing matter to form. Time as a dimension is unmeasurable until matter exists. The universe is enormous, over 90 billion light-years across. The 5% we understand is four-dimensional, expanding as spacetime. The remaining 95%, represented by so-called dark energy and dark matter, remains unknown to us and may represent the fifth and sixth dimensions. Our Creator exists outside of the universe He created, in the seventh dimension. He imparted the energy required to initiate the Big Bang and to enable life to exist and thrive. He spoke it into existence without diminishing Himself. Magnificently, from our perspective here on Earth, orbiting a second-generation star as carbon-based life forms running on a three-dimensional code we call DNA, attempt to measure the Kabod, manifestation of power still emanating from the Rakia, spreading out in a flattened expansion of the universe, we Nagad, have come to 670 realize that, from God's perspective at creation, the entire process transpired over a 6-day period. The superficial disparity between 14 billion years and 6 Earth days is mitigated by the realization that time is relative. In the presence of the enormous mass, energy, and velocity present at the point of creation, time moves more slowly. The difference between the pace of time measured here on Earth today and that experienced at the Big Bang is evident in the CMB, or cosmic microwave background radiation, still measurable all these many years after the universal genesis. It reveals that time was stretched by a constant factor of 1012 power, making 6 days and 14 billion years equivalent. Rakik, which is a cognate of Rakia, reveals that, while expansive, the universe is actually flat, something we did not know until the past few years. Without direction and oversight, a singular explosive event should have created a sphere, but instead, we ended up living within an enormous pancake. While there is considerable debate, experimental data from various independent sources confirm that the universe is flat with 99.6% certainty. Day unto day, Yaum la Yaum, pours out, Nobba, gushes forth, spewing out, a proliferation of answers, Omer, words of intent, declarations and announcements. Night unto night, Layla la Layla, reveals, Shawah, makes known and illuminates, displays and explains, knowledge which leads to understanding, Dorth, information which facilitates comprehension regarding the implications of the relationship. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 19:2. The existence of the universe and life, their scale and complexity, as well as how perfectly and uniquely one is tuned to support our existence, serves as proof that we were created. And yet, no accounting of our creation would be complete without a complement of instructions from our 671 Maker. And that is why we find these enlightening insights woven into most everything Yahowah has to say to His people. Nothing exists without Ein, there is no substance, and it would all be for naught, empty, negated, and senseless, unsearchable and incurable, calling everything into question without the word, Omer, the answers and promises, these declarations and announcements, that which has been spoken and its intent. Everything is senseless and nothing matters when, wa'ain, and therefore, our existence is nullified where, the spoken and written words of, Dabarim, the statements, accounts and message, the record and treatise of what has and will happen, communicated by, the voice which calls out to them, Kaulhem, the audible and intelligent sound of speech, is considered outdated, is corrupted or denigrated, and is therefore not, Bailey, is considered old and thus arcane and worn out, muted, becoming unimportant, is diminished in relevance, is gone without or negated so as not, heard, shama, received, perceived, or processed. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 19:3. Without language, we are rendered senseless because words are the source of enlightenment. We would be powerless without their causality. We think with words and act upon them. Words are the source of life, and the means to relationships. Therefore, in this declaration, Yahowah is saying that should we fail to observe his message, if we neglect the importance of his word, we will cease to exist, returning to the dust from which we came. Yah's Torah instructions represent the universal standard as they undergird the laws of nature and the covenant of life. The word of Yahowah is the source of mankind's mortal existence as well as the means to 672 immortality, and the heavens accurately calibrate Yah's power. This standard of measure, Korhem, this ability to assess the underlying rules and overall size of that which binds everything together and provides hope as in a confident expectation, has gone forth, Yatsah, been brought up and produced as an extension of the source, concerning, Ba, in association with, all the material realm, Shel Ha-Eres, the entire earth, along with, Wa, together with, these words, Milahim Hem, these reasoned arguments and verbal portraits. These communications and proverbs characterizing the truth of this affair, to the uttermost outskirts, Barkatsay, to a point marking the completion of an epoch, to expose the end and the finite nature of time and space, of the earth, Tebel, the world or planet. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 19:4. Everything fits together and is consistent, from the creation of the universe to its inevitable conclusion, from the similarity between light and the Hebrew language. It all forms an integrated portrait of who we are and why we were conceived. More than any words ever spoken or written, Yah's word has been known longer and by more people than any other message. As a result, it has been misquoted, twisted, and misapplied more than any message ever written. It has been most prolifically maligned in the Talmud, New Testament, Quran, and Zohar. Along with these words, Wahem, in them, masculine plural and thus denoting the Dabarim and Milahim, words, both masculine plural, from 11 QPS, he has set up, Sim, he has for a time appointed and established, constituted and fashioned, brought about and placed, a brilliant dwelling, Ohel, household and home, a sheltered tent and temporary tabernacle, from Al, to be bright, to be clear, to be brilliant, and to shine, speaking 673 of Dowd, such that this would be clear regarding the approach of the sun, La HaShemesh. On behalf of clarity provided by the brilliance of sunlight, Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 19:4, Yah isn't pitching a tent for our nearest star. He is saying that his words will live in a brilliant home, shining brightly and clearly. Further, at the conclusion of the 89th Mizmowr, we are told that the author of these lyrics will be as brilliant as the sun before God upon his return. This makes Shemesh a metaphor for Yahowah's most brilliant orator. Therefore, Yah is honoring his promise to build a home for Yisrael's returning Messiah and King. Similar to, Ka, like, a bridegroom, Chatan, and son-in-law, the husband of the father's daughter, who goes forth, Yatsah, who leaves, extending himself to serve, from, Min, the tent he has erected for the wedding ceremony, Shabuw'ah, his sheltered pavilion and bridal chamber for the upcoming nuptials and to consummate his marriage, he confidently and joyously speaks about his love for relationship, Suz, he expresses his fond feelings of appreciation for the association and how much he enjoys it. Consistent with, Ka, the power and strength of a virtuous and victorious fighter, Shabuw'ah, the character of a leader with the strength to prevail, an honorable hero defending his people, a man with prominence who is audacious and courageous, awe-inspiring and victorious, who swiftly and intensely pursues, La Ruse, the way, Arak, the road to life and path to explore. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 19:5. Yahowah is prophetically addressing the love of his life, Dowd. He is the exemplar of Yisrael, Yahweh, and the Berith. Dowd is also the paradigm for Shabuw'ah, the most competent and courageous man of God. As a Shabuw'ah, Dowd was an empowered military leader with the strength 674 to prevail, a mighty warrior, valiant soldier, and virtuous hero defending his people, a manly man with prominence in the community he influenced, a man who was audacious, awe-inspiring, and victorious. And he will be all of these things once again. Transitioning from metaphors to Yahowah's timeline, Dowd is articulating the progressions of his lives. His going forth at this stage of his journey occurs, Matsah. His pronouncements during this incremental part of his very long mission will be conducted from a place of departure such that his declarations are, from Yatsah, to go forth, at the completion of a long duration of time and commences from the limits, Miqra'ey, in association with a period marking the conclusion of a prescribed interval of time regarding finishing the purpose, of the heavens, Hashamim, of the abode of God and spiritual realm. His return to complete his course of action will continue, YYV2C12, his trajectory and established course for each stage of his journey, his ability to encompass time and space and complete the cycle of events, until its fulfillment at the end, YYV2C13. So, then nothing, wine, will be hidden, satar, will be lost or concealed, from, min, his warmth and light, Shabuw'ah, this source of radiant energy. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 19:6. In these words, we see the scope of Dowd's lives as Messiah, Son, Savior, and King. His journey has traveled across time from 964 BC to 33 CE and soon to 2033 and his final and most glorious stage. Upon his return, he will complete his mission, fulfilling the final modim. The full truth will be known as we bask in the light of Father and Son. This brings us to one of Dowd's most important statements regarding Yahowah's Torah. It establishes the 675 prophets' perceptions of God's guidance and reveals that the Son of God and Messiah was Torah observant. Yahowah, an accurate transliteration of the name of God guided by his Torah, instructions regarding his higher existence, Torah, source of teaching and instruction, direction and guidance, plural in 11 QPS referring to the uppercase and lowercase Torah/Torah, both scroll and guidance, is correct, complete, and perfect, tamim, is entirely right, lacking nothing, without defect, totally sound and genuine, helpful and healing, beneficial and true. Manifesting great integrity because it is in accord with reality, returning and restoring, changing and transforming, bringing back and renewing, reconstituting the relationship and repairing, the soul, nefesh, an individual's consciousness representing the essence of one's life and personal character, including proclivities and aptitude, as well as our ability to observe and respond. Yahowah, testimony, Edjuth, eternal witness, from everlasting verbal and written memorialization of the perpetual agreement, including evidence and proof and Ida, an eternal witness to an enduring and restoring commitment along with the evidence which is being memorialized so that its conditions and precepts are forever remembered, is trustworthy and reliable, a man, is instructive and informative, verifiable and readily confirmed, supportive and established, dependable and enduring. Making understanding, hakam, enabling the formation of reasoned conclusions by imparting the teaching, instruction, and education needed to make learning and enlightenment leading to comprehension and wisdom, easy for those who are receptive, pethi, simple for the open-minded and readily deduced by those with the capacity to change their thinking, from patha, open and receptive to Pesach, 676 these unfolding events leading to the opening of the doorway. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 19:7. This being true, there can be no justification for a Christian New Testament, a rabbinical Talmud, or an Islamic Quran. With this one declaration, and in just 10 words, including the repetition of Yahowah's name, God destroyed the religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Most everything that Paul, Akiba, or Muhammad professed was proven invalid by the very God these men claimed to represent. Therefore, the only informed and rational decision which can be drawn from these irreconcilable differences is that they lied. And that means that the religions they founded are untrustworthy and unreliable. As a result, it's hard to imagine a statement more polarizing than this one. To believe in any of these religions, the faithful must disavow God's testimony. Digging deeper, Shub, which was translated as returning and restoring, is being shaped by the hyphal stem, revealing that we are influenced by and benefit from the relationship established between our nefesh, soul and Yah's Torah, teaching. This is what leads to our restoration and renewal. Edjuth has profound implications because it speaks of an eyewitness account of the events that Yahowah's testimony depicts along with the inspiration he is conveying. God foresaw all of this, from creation to covenant, from beginning to end. As an Edjuth, he provided an everlasting memorialization of the perpetual agreement, offering the evidence required to prove his veracity. A man reveals that faith is counterproductive. There is no reason to believe when we can trust and rely upon what we know to be true. The evidence God provides is not only instructive, but it is also verifiable, which is to say, 677 readily confirmed. His testimony is enduring and dependable. A man was written in the nifil participle, meaning that trust and reliance provide an actionable connection to Yah's witness. His testimony facilitates trust and reliance through informative instruction which is verifiable, and thus confirming. The prerequisite for trust is understanding. Without it, we are back to believing. Therefore, Yahowah is committed to helping us understand. He does this in the best way possible, by teaching us, imparting instructions which help us learn. Yahowah, an accurate transliteration of the name of Eloah, God guided by his Torah, instructions regarding his chyah, existence and Shalom, reconciliation, principles, directions, and guidance, Bikuwrym, instructions and prescriptions which should be considered and acted upon regarding the assigned appointments, as well as the precepts, procedures, and guidelines, because when they are observed, the individual and their circumstances undergo considerable change, from pakad. Oversight and caring guidance, are on the level and correct, Yasha'yah, are straightforward, and thus neither crooked nor circuitous, upright, and thus do not include bowing down, and agreeable, and thus neither unsuitable nor discordant, neither incongruous nor harsh, they are approved, proper, honest, fair, and pleasing, resulting in a joyful disposition, and an elated attitude, late Samak. Yahowah, instructions regarding the conditions pursuant to his relationship agreement, Mitswah, his authorized stipulations pertaining to the codicils of his mutually binding covenant contract delineating what he is offering and asking in return, create heirs who are brilliant and enlightened, providing 678 light for his offspring leading to understanding, creating supernatural children who are radiant while fostering favoritism among those choosing to participate in a special relationship as sons and daughters, illuminating the proper perspective, or Ein, shining a light for the eyes to see, enabling insightful observation. Mizmowr, Psalm 19:8. A reverence and respect for, Yahowah, are cleansing and restoring, Towrah, is perfecting and renewing, sustaining and establishing one's presence, Amod, causing one to remain and endure, forever, La'ad, eternally as a witness. Yahowah, means to exercise good judgment and to justly resolve disputes, Mishpat, the means used to achieve justice and to make sound decisions, from to ponder the who, where, why, when, and how of Shafot, rendering rational decisions based upon thoughtful evaluations of accurate and complete information, are continually trustworthy and reliable, Emith, enduring, dependable, honest, consistent, and true forever. They are totally right and completely vindicating, Zardak Yador, they are of one accord working in unison to prove one's innocence, all together and united, correct and justifying. Mizmowr, Psalm 19:9. The Torah was written to liberate and save, not control or condemn. Its purpose is to guide us to a relationship and away from religion. Everything we need to know about Yahowah and his Son is presented therein. The Torah gives life meaning. Desire and covet them, Harchamid, treasure them and find pleasure in them, instead of, min, rather than, gold, zahab, money, even beyond an abundance of precious metal, wa min pars rab, instead of anything and everything man has refined to any extent and called great. 679 They are sweeter and more pleasing than honey, wa matauk min debash, they are more satisfying and pleasant, agreeable and acceptable, even more enjoyable than honey, or the overflowing flattery of enticing words, wa nofith chup, or the uplifting of excessively sweet-sounding speech and verbal gymnastics or the brandishing of honeycombs. Mizmowr 19:10. Moreover, Gam, also in addition, your co-worker, Ebed Otter, he who serves with you, is educated and enlightened by them, respected and shining brightly because of them, Zahar Barhem, he is radiant because of them and is taught by them, thereby helping him achieve a higher status as a consequence of their future fulfillment. By focusing upon and observing them, Barshamarhem, by closely examining and carefully considering them, there are tremendous rewards and abundant benefits, Ekeb Rab, there is a profound consequence and great merit along with an abundance of trustworthy compensation. Mizmowr, Song, Psalm 19:11. Magnificent. Eternal life after being perfected by God is the most desirable outcome. Adoption into Yahowah's covenant family, being enriched, empowered, and enlightened are also tremendously beneficial. This is what Dowd got out of observing the Torah, instructions of Yahowah and then by acting upon his father's guidance. If it was this beneficial for the Son of God and the Messiah, it's suitable for us as well. While this psalm was scribed by Dowd, the voice he was recording is none other than Yaz. It begins. 680 This is a call to be circumspect, to understand, and to prosper, Maskell. These are the lyrics to a song which encourages the listener to be prudent, to pay attention, to consider its insights, and to gain comprehension, from Sakel, thoughtful contemplation, for the purpose of, La, 2, Asaph, valuing these treasures, Asaph, open the storehouse where the most valuable treasures are kept. Asaph was also the name of Dowd's favorite Lowy musician. My people, Ameni, my family, you should choose to listen and respond, Arjan, elect to pay close attention so that you hear the message and then choose the most appropriate response. Hyphal imperative paragogic cohortative, should you choose to do so. The speaker, God, wants you to listen to his teaching so that you reflect its qualities and respond appropriately to it, while emphasizing his desire to enrich you by listening to my Torah, teaching and guidance, Torah any, my instructions and directions. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 78:1. Shama rather than Arjan is the customary Hebrew word used throughout the Torah, Nabi, to encourage us to listen to Yahowah. Therefore, we must examine Arjan's etymological history to determine why it was selected. We discover that Arjan conveys the ideas of carefully considering what we hear, of testing and weighing the message, and of giving the information which is being shared serious thought and then respond appropriately. Arjan was scribed in the hyphal stem, which means that the subject of the verb, which here is comprised of those of us who are listening to this message, will cause the object of the verb, which is Yahowah's Torah, to become influential in our lives. And in the imperative mood, it expresses an exhortation which is subject to volition. In other words, we are being encouraged to 681 choose to listen to and understand the Torah and be positively influenced by it. Beyond this, in the cohortative mood, God's statement becomes an expression of his will and his desire for our lives. Also, the paragogic he conveys a heightened sense of purpose where the beneficiary is honored and enriched by listening. As is his custom when comprising the poetic lyrics of songs, Yahowah reinforces his message, saying the same thing, but using different words, thereby reinforcing his intent. Please choose to incline and extend, nata, stretch out, hyphal imperative, your ears, anatom, your sense of hearing, scribed identically in the text to Arjan, and thus conveying the realization that this message is not only essential for us to contemplate so that we come to understand it, but also so that we make an informed decision and respond appropriately, to the words, la ima, for the declarations and promises, of my mouth, pay any, my speech and voice. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 78:1. Yah's Torah, teaching is comprised of God's ima pay any, declarations and promises. That is to say, Yahowah conveyed the Torah's guidance to Moses, who wrote down what God said for our benefit. The Torah is, therefore, the word of God. The next poetic couplet serves to affirm and reinforce the lyrics of this song. I will open, Pata, will respond by generously providing, Kal imperfect, affirming that what God has to say is reliable and that it will produce ongoing results. My mouth, pay any, my speech and voice, in, bar, through, martial, proverbs, martial, drawing pictures with enlightening words which are easy to remember, 682 conveying profound maxims through similes and poems, also allegories and metaphors, deploying parallelism to provide leadership and govern through my appointee. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 78:2. God loves to tell stories and paint pictures using words. And he is most adept at doing so through his appointed poet and prophet, his chosen shepherd and king, Hamashiach Dowd, the son who listens to the father throughout the martial, proverbs. He is also the one Yahowah chose to marshal, lead his people to him with his words. As such, we can conclude, 1. The martial are the inspired word of God, 2. The poetry of the martial and lyrics of the Mizmowr convey the same message from the same source, and 3. Just as he was inspired to compose the psalm, Dowd is the son whose hand scribed the proverbs. We have been studying the martial, proverbs and Mizmowr, psalms because they make it easier for us to see Yahowah, to picture his berith, and to achieve the proper perspective from which to evaluate his Torah. While there were some 40 men and women acknowledged as prophets, 3 of them were particularly adept at painting God's portrait with their words, Moses, Dowd, and Yasha'yah. They are the most brilliant and articulate of those who spoke for God. And while we will study everything Yahowah inspired, it is from these 3 in particular that we will discover how to please and approach our God. I am sharing this with you because in Yasha'yah, Isaiah 25-30 the prophet speaks of a time when a new song will be sung in the land of Yahweh, a time when there will also be considerable sour notes. And so, you will say on that day, Wa ba ha yam ha hu, look now and see, Hine, behold, Yahowah, Yahowah. This is our God, Elohim 683 Anaknu Zay. We have waited expectantly for him, Kawalahu, we have confidently placed our hope in him. He has saved us, Wa Yasha'yah Ch, he liberated us. This is, Zay, Yahowah, Yahowah, whom we have anticipated, Kawalahu. We are rejoicing and glad, Jilwa Samak, in his liberation and deliverance, Bar Yeshua Hu. Yasha'yah, 25-9. During this day, Bar Ha Yam Ha Hu, they will sing this song, Shah Zay, in the land of Yahweh, Bar Erez Yahweh. Our city has been empowered and is strong, Eras La Anakhu, has been fortified and is majestic, becoming a place of salvation, Yasha'yah Ch, protected and fortified, Chaumo Yasha'yah, 26-1. Open your gates and doors, Patak Shah, so that the correct and righteous Gawi, Gawi Zadik, who has been observant, Shema, and is trustworthy, Emun, may enter, Bo. Yasha'yah, 26-2. Thoughtful, inspired, and motivated, Yetzer, creative, inclined to reason, hard-working, and purposeful, upheld, supported, and steadfast, Samak, sustained, empowered, and unshakable, you watch over and protect, Nazar, you cause to branch out and grow, the one who is completely devoted to reconciliation, Shalom, your companion while seeking to restore the relationship. Indeed, he is with you, Kyhu bar Otter, always and forever trusting and relying, Bachvak, he is supremely confident and secure, upon Yahweh's eternal witness and restoring testimony, bar Yahowah ad. Yasha'yah, 26-3-4. The way, Arak, of this correct one, Laha Zadik, of the one who is right, righteous, and vindicated, is honest, fair, and in complete agreement, my sharim, just, upright, linear, reconciling, and in accord with the 684 relationship. You have made it possible, Pallas, through observation and consideration of your principles you have prepared the path, for the direction and the teaching, Magol, of the one who is right, Zadik, of the one who is correct, righteous, and vindicated, to be straightforward, and on the level, Yashar, to be properly guided. Yasha'yah, 26-7. And so as a result, Yahowah, we confidently wait, anticipating these benefits, Kawa, by way, Aura, in the manner and path, of your Mishpat, exercising good judgment regarding your resolution, Mishpat Otter, making informed and rational decisions regarding your means to resolve the open issues between us, of your name, La Shem Otter, of your Torah, while our Torah Otter, and for the pleasure and satisfaction it brings to our souls, such that this is what we desire, Tawah Nipeshanakyu. Translated from one Kiza throughout. Yasha'yah, 26-8. With so much to share, so much to learn, and now with so little time, Yasha'yah asks. Through whom, Ethmai, will he teach and then make openly known, Yara, will he deploy as a source of guidance and instructions with Yara serving as the verb defining Torah, the means to exercise good judgment and become aware of the relationship, Dia, the information necessary to comprehend, from Yada, to be aware, recognize, and acknowledge. And through whom, Ethmai, will he provide the ability to understand, Bin, the capacity to be discerning and thoughtful, making the proper connections to realize the implications and consequences, this message, Shabuw'ah, that which has been revealed and communicated so that the stupefied will realize what is about to occur. Those who are being weaned, Jamal, those who are ready to grow, from milk, Min Shalab, and 685 who have just been taken, Atik, from the breast, Min Sad. Yasha'yah, 28-9. To the contrary, KY, it is instruction after instruction, Solat Saw, the terms of what is being offered and the conditions of what is expected, Solat Saw, line after line, Kor Kor, in another language, Kor Kor, a little guidance from one location, Zer Sham, more teaching from another place, Zer Sham. Yasha'yah, 28-10. In a short period of time, whether it be a decade or just a few days, the remnant of the children of Israel must be brought to their senses. They must be afforded reasons to disassociate from Israeli politics and Judaism and to begin a relationship with Yahweh, who they are just beginning to know. All the while, progressives and communists, the religious and political, the conspiratorial and patriotic, particularly the militaristic, including every remaining Christian, Muslim, and Haredim, must be removed. Those being saved from them will need to know how to properly observe Bikuwrym, and then celebrate Sukkah. Purged of religion, Yahweh will be celebrating the Shabat in an entirely different way. With the Talmud gone, this will be Yahweh's first opportunity to present his Torah to his people in a way that they will understand and then respond appropriately. And that is why they are opening up their homes to this Gawi, something they would otherwise never have considered. Without this song being sung, without Yasha'yah's explicit endorsement and Yahweh's sponsorship, and especially after having been harassed by Gentiles for millennia, many would be hesitant to accept the instruction of the last witness. So as these infants grow into adults, God is telling us that someone needs to be teaching them, and that is not going to be other suckling babes. Yahweh is putting his 686 people on notice that there is a lot for them to learn. There are instructions, terms, and conditions line after line that must be properly translated and explained in the language best known to these Yahweh. As is the case with every question posed by one of Yahweh's prophets, Yasha'yah knows the identity of this witness and teacher. He predicted the arrival of the Chota. He knows that there will be a third and final Zarawah. He is aware of Yahweh's Nakry, too. And that is where this gets interesting, because Tzaw and Kor have a light and dark side. While they are perfectly suited to describe the contents of the Yada Yahowah series, those stubbornly singing the sour notes to the very end, the surviving progressive and religious Jews, are going to chafe at this assault on their credibility. For indeed, KY, with foreign lips speaking a currently unfamiliar language, l'G. Safa, with stammering speech filled with derisive and often mocking overtones to ridicule, and in a future foreign tongue, Wabar Lashon, in a language and speech which is different and sometimes hesitant during the last days, he will continuously speak, Dabar, he, masculine singular, will constantly communicate words which affect those to whom his message is intended, Peel imperfect, to these particular people in this family, El Har and Harzeh, Yasha'yah 28:11, to whom, and to show the way to the benefits of the relationship, Asher, he is actively expressing on their behalf, Amar Elhem, conveying in words on their behalf, Kal perfect, this will provide spiritual tranquility and contentment, Jothar Manuk and Yuvak, for those seeking to be nourished and to recuperate, La Ha If. This is the means to find relief, Wa Jothar Marja, this is the way to be refreshed and renewed after having left a bad situation. But many will be unwilling, Wa Lower Bar, they will be opposed to him and unaccepting because of their 687 obedience to their fathers, precluding them, to listen, Shama, to hear this message. Yasha'yah 28:12. Therefore, Wa, the word, Dabar, the message of Yahowah, will be for them, Hayalahem, blah blah blah, worthless filth and futility, Solat just a bunch of commandments, Solat a drumbeat of endless rules, Kor, nothing but one line after another of meaningless gibberish, Kor, a little from one place, Zer Sham, a little more from another place, Zer Sham. As a result, they will walk accordingly, Laman Holok, and they will stumble and fall, Wa Kashal, they will falter and be overthrown, in the end upon their asses, Akor. They will be scrutinized and broken, Wa Shabuw'ah, they will be tested and destroyed, ensnared and taken, Wa Yakash Wa Lakid, trapped and controlled, caught, seized, and immobilized. Yasha'yah 28:13. Should we need reminding, it is rabbis who rule over Yahweh in Yerushalayim. Therefore, Ken, listen to the word, Shema Dabar, hear the message, Kal imperative, of Yahowah, you braggarts using derisive language to rule over, Ishlatson Marshal, the people for your benefit, Har and Harzeh Asher, in Yerushalayim, Jerusalem, Bar Yerushalayim. Yasha'yah 28:14. Indeed, you have said, Ky Amar, we have made a covenant, Karat Barith, we have cut a separation agreement, with the dead, Eth Moeth, with the deceased, i.e., with former rabbis. And so, in the company of Shaul, why in Shaul, question him in hell, we will act upon this agreement received from the writers from long ago, Asar Chosa, we will engage in accordance with this association established with the visionaries and sages. Therefore, during the overwhelming chastisement, it will all pass through and 688 not affect us, Shoth Shataf Ky Obar Lobo and Aknu, because, Ky, we have arranged, Sim, we have placed and appointed, lies, deceptions, and delusions, Kazab, falsehoods, false testimony, and false gods, religious worship based upon errant opinions, as our refuge, Wakasa and Aknu, will be our way to deflect the truth. In these false claims and upon this dishonest witness, Wabaha Sheker, through this breach of faith and disappointing practices, we will hide to conceal ourselves, Satar, retaining our secret. Yasha'yah 28:15. While it will not work out the way they have intended, with the rabbis gone, there will be a renewed opportunity for the remnant of Israel to deal with other foes, such as the Philistines. As a result, KY, Yahowah, will take a stand to re-establish and restore, consistent with what occurred at Mount Paratsim, breaking free, Kaha Paratsim, where Yahowah helped Dowd defeat the Philistines, like the Amak, profound implications of Gibeon, lifting up, Ka-Emek Gibeon, site of a decisive victory against the Philistines under the shadow of the recently returned Ark of the Covenant. He will be provoked to anger, sufficiently enraged, Ragas, to engage and do what he needs to accomplish, La Sarmasehu, working with the non-Israelite, Zarmasehu, furthering his work, while La Abadabodathu, with the Nakry, observant and responsive foreigner, Nakry, who is serving him, Abodahu. Yasha'yah, Isaiah 28:21. With his people having precluded themselves from working with God, Yahowah turned to a Nakry, observant and responsive foreigner to convey his message. And what was once an act of necessity, without any other option, has turned into a valued and productive 689 relationship. In spite of his limitations, Yahowah is committed to working through his chosen witness. So now, at this time, Otter, go about, woe, pursue this in conjunction with the return and arrival, writing this, katab high, against them, ethem, upon a tablet or flat panel screen, luvak. Then, inscribe it in a book, wa al sefer chakak high, prescribe and print it in a written document. It will be for, Wahayalah, the last days, Yawmakaroun, serving as an enduring witness, la ad olam. Yasha'yah 32:8. This is because they are a contentious and rebellious people, kym merry hue, they are embittered, recalcitrant, and revolting, lying children, ben kakash, deceitful and mendacious boys, delusional and disappointing, children who are unwilling to listen, ben loabar shama to Yahweh's, Yahowah, Torah, source of teaching, guidance, instructions, and directions. Yasha'yah 30:9. As a result of their relationships, they say to those who expose their religion, Asher amar laha roa, are you unable to see, lo ra? And to those who claim to communicate a message from God, Wallaha chosa, have you no insights or any clue as to what is going to happen, lo chaza to us, la nakyu. With your illusions and deceptive visions, chaza mahatala, with your untruthful opinions and the false beliefs you have professed, what can you honestly speak to us about that is flattering and legitimate, nakoch dabar la nakyu chalak. Yasha'yah 30:10. It is safe to say that Yahweh is none too pleased with today's religious leaders, most especially rabbis. They have become a brood of serpents. Even with his words served up for all to see, they remain opposed to him. Fortunately, there is a much better option. 690 leave, choosing to remove yourself, sur, reject, kal imperative, from this path, min derek, turning aside from behaving this way, nata min aura. Observe and celebrate the Shabat, from our presence before, min pana nakyueth, the set-apart one, Kodesh of Yisrael, individuals who engage and endure with God, Yisrael. Yasha'yah 30:11. However, Laken, thus says, Ko Amar, the set-apart one of Yisrael, Kodesh Yisrael, since, Yan, because, for the longest time, you have rejected and demonstrably spurned, even continually disdained, Marsota, you have habitually and dramatically avoided throughout time, Kal infinitive construct, that which is associated with this message, Baha de Baha Zay, and have relied upon, Wa Baitach, extortion and oppression, Oshik, unjust gain and overreaching control, by being devious and misleading, lose. Being perverse and estranged, actually depending upon this approach, Wasan al-Hu, Yasha'yah 30:12, as a result, therefore, La Ken, this religious wrongdoing, Ha A1 Haze, this injustice which is perverse and depraved, will come to be for all of you, Hayala Atom, like a breach in a crumbling high wall, Kar Peretz Bar Chomasagab, which is defective, bulging out. And about to collapse, Nafal Bar, suddenly and unexpectedly, Asher Pitom La Peter, instantly, over a very short period of time, and to their surprise, coming upon them, crashing down, and crippling them, Bo Shebahu, being brought upon them, causing their downfall and destroying them. Yasha'yah, Yahweh liberates and saves, Isaiah 30:13. It is a tale of two stories, one shared by Yahweh's Nakry, and the other by the opposing rabbis. You can stand on either side of the wall, with them or alongside him. And fortunately, as a result of this song, the YYV2 691 have chosen Yahweh over Judaism will be on the side of the wall which will stand as a testament to God's enduring promise forevermore. With these things known, we now return to Dowd's 78th Mizmowr, Psalm. If you recall, he began. This is a call to be circumspect, to understand, and to prosper, maskell, for the purpose of, La, Asaph, opening the storehouse and valuing these treasures, Asaph. My people, Ameni, you should choose to listen and respond, Arjan, to my Torah, teaching and guidance, Torah any. Please choose to incline and extend, Nata, your ears, Urzan Atom, to the words, La Ema, of my mouth, pay any. Mizmowr 78:1, I will open, Pata, my mouth, pay any, in, bar, marshal, Proverbs, marshal. I will profusely and prolifically pour out, Nobba, I will gush forth, effusively and freely expressing, riddles to be solved, challenging puzzles to stimulate your thinking, chydah, enigmas to be resolved, hidden things to be known, questions to be answered, conundrums which, when the intrigue is resolved, illuminate perplexing things which are not otherwise understood if not by allegory, from long ago, min kidem, from time immemorial, from an eternity in the past, from the period before time. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 78:2. This is something I've celebrated from the outset of our journey together. I love solving puzzles because resolving riddles is rewarding. The pieces to this conundrum have been available for a long time, but unfortunately, they have mostly been kept tucked away and seldom considered. By contrast, we had done the opposite, and after examining every facet of each 692 word from many perspectives, I have arranged them together and placed them where they belong. The picture hidden for millennia is now visible for all to see. But even then, it is instruction after instruction, the terms of what is being offered and the conditions of what is expected, line after line in another language, a little guidance from one location, and more teaching from another place. So, while there are millions of pieces to this puzzle, there are now a sufficient number of completed sections to see where it is all leading. But the portrait is so large, and the presentation so extensive, those who are in a hurry, who want the answer without embarking on this journey, will never see it. It may come as a surprise to many, but while God could be and was matter-of-fact about what he opposes, the ramifications of being equally forthright regarding what he is offering are problematic. If Yahowah served up the way to him in a pamphlet with a short list of "believe this and you'll be saved," heaven would be filled with so many thoughtless, self-serving, religious nincompoops that life there would be no different than what we are currently experiencing on earth. Therefore, there is a labyrinth. And while the way to Yahowah is straightforward, it has been blocked and papered over by countless religious myths, all of which are framed by grand edifices. They have repurposed his stepping stones to confuse the unwary. Should a person be lost in one of their mazes, they must find a way out and then be redirected, with the proper path laid out before them. When we come to see how all of the pieces nestle together to create a beautiful portrait of our God and witness the picture for the first time, and even better, share it, there is a tremendous sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. Our involvement in determining how 693 everything blends into the whole, and then assembling each component, brings us into the scene we are observing. This is the difference between being tossed the keys to a Ferrari at 16 rather than having worked for a more sensible ride. The Torah, prophets, and Psalms are filled with chydah, riddles to be solved, challenging puzzles to stimulate our thinking, fascinating enigmas to be resolved, hidden insights to be known, questions to be answered, conundrums to be investigated and understood. None of it is particularly difficult, but there are a lot of pieces laid out on an exceedingly large table, so retaining the proper perspective and remaining focused is essential. Had Yahowah laid it all out for us, presenting the covenant as his top priority, and then enumerated each requirement, it would have been a lecture rather than a lively conversation. As it is now, we stand beside Abraham with similar choices, able to develop a meaningful relationship in the process. Had God itemized his plan of reconciliation, openly revealing exactly what each of his 7 invitations to be called out and meet represented, and then stated that they comprise the lone path to him, what incentive would there have been to look any deeper or understand anything else? He could have spoon-fed us all of the answers, but without questions to ponder and resolve, what is the benefit? There would be no voyage of discovery, no reason to explore, no thrill associated with learning something new. There would be no search and nothing to find. There would be no incentive to spend time engaged in getting to know Yahowah better and thus a lot less fun. Yahowah could have said that my formula is 6 plus 1 which equates to 7, but then who would have endeavored to figure out what each number represented or how it applied to everything else? He could have told us 694 that Adam and Towrah were expelled from the garden in year 0 year, and that Noach was born to build the ark in year 1000 year. While we know that the covenant was confirmed with Abraham in year 2000 year and that Dowd was immortalized in the 89th Mizmowr, becoming the cornerstone of the covenant home, in year 3000 year. We were afforded the opportunity to figure this out for ourselves and then share it openly with those who are similarly interested. We have come to recognize that Dowd fulfilled the first 4 Miqra'ey, Pesach, Matsah, Bikuwrym, and Shabuw'ah, in year 4000 year, 33 CE. And we know that Yahowah will return with his son on Bikuwrym in year 6000 year, fulfilling the day of reconciliations at sunset in Yerushalayim, 6:22 p.m., on October 2, 2033. We were given all of the information required for us to experience the satisfaction of recognizing these dates on Yahowah's timeline. Considering these things on a universal scale, we have used the SIMB from the Big Bang and relativity to equate the 14 billion year age of the universe with the 6 days of creation. Identifying the Berkel impact crater responsible for the rising tide of deep-sea water which instigated the flood was intellectually rewarding. Learning how the first 4 Miqra'ey collectively provide the covenant's benefits was reassuring as well. The challenge of solving such enigmas using the details to paint the larger picture, turning something perplexing into something profound, is mentally stimulating. The joy comes from piecing the clues together to solve the puzzle. It is not unlike the game of dot to dot that I relished as a child, where when we connect all of the seemingly unrelated points on a page in the proper order a picture emerges. After all, what fun would a jigsaw puzzle be if it came pre-assembled? 695 had God provided each of us with a perfect copy of his Torah translated into our favorite language, literally inserting it into our brains for perfect processing and complete recall, we would have been relegated to pre-programmed robots. our lives would have been short-circuited, as God made a mockery of free will while destroying the relationship he sought to build. Life is about growing, and growing is about learning, and perhaps this is why chydah and chayah are related. There is no chayah, salvation or restoration for those unwilling to chydah, seek answers to life's questions. It is the reason students study. It is what drives the scientist to seek answers. It is the mother of invention. It is what fuels progress. As Dowd writes the lyrics to this psalm, he transitions from Yah's perspective to his own, now demonstrating his acceptance of what God has just revealed. Little wonder, he would also have enjoyed resolving life's great enigmas. This is all part of and related to what, Yasha'yah Ch, to show the way to receive the benefits of the relationship, we have heard, Shama, we have listened to, and we have come to know, Yada, we have been made aware of and are acknowledging from Yada. Our fathers, Abba Nakry, communicated to us in writing, La Sapar La Nakry, recounted and recorded, declared and documented, providing a written scroll for us. Mizmowr, Psalm 78:3. We will not conceal this, lo kakad, we will not keep this as a secret, from the children, nin benhem, of the last generation, la dawa akaroun, of the coming and final people, place, and time, so that they have a written record which is documented in a series of books, sapar, they have an accurate and detailed accounting in writing proclaiming, peel participle masculine plural, 696 revealing Yahweh's positive attributes and listing his exceptional deeds while offering appreciation, to Yahowah. Acknowledging Yahweh's admirable qualities which comprise his tremendous character, and deserve public adoration. With his unwavering determination and enormous power, as Ch, using his influence, resolve, and ability to accomplish whatever needs to be done, prevailing in peace and war, he has done, Matsah, he has acted and engaged, performing to accomplish, perfect, awesomely wonderful things, fulfilling his amazing promises at great personal cost, to provide the benefits of the relationship, Asher. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 78:4. These lyrics were written for you right now, this day. So rather than comment further upon them, let's simply read them again. This is a call to be circumspect, to understand, and to prosper, maskell, for the purpose of, la, opening the storehouse and valuing these treasures, Asaph. My people, Ameni, you should choose to listen and respond, Arjan, to my Torah, teaching and guidance, Torah any. Please choose to incline and extend, Nata, your ears, an atom, to the words, la ima, of my mouth, pay any. Mizmowr 78:1. I will open, patter my mouth, pay any in, bar, marshal, proverbs, marshal. I will profusely and prolifically pour out, nobber, riddles to be solved, challenging puzzles to stimulate your thinking, hidden things to be known, and questions to be answered which, when the intrigue is resolved, illuminate things which would not otherwise be understood, chydah, from long ago, min kidem. Mizmowr 78:2. This is all part of and related to what, Yasha'yah Ch, we have heard, Shama, and we have come to know, 697 acknowledging from Yada, Yada, our fathers, Abba Nakry, communicated to us in writing, La Sapar La Nakry. Mizmowr 78:3, we will not conceal this, lo kakad, from the children, min benhem, of the last generation, la dawa akaroun, so that they will have a written record which is documented in a series of books, sapar, revealing Yahweh's positive attributes and listing his exceptional deeds while offering appreciation, to Yahowah. With his unwavering determination and enormous power, as Ch, he has done, Matsah, awesomely wonderful things, fulfilling his amazing promises at great personal cost, to provide the benefits of the relationship, Asher. Mizmowr 78:4. Following Yahweh's advice, Dowd shares what he considers to be Yahweh's most wonderful deed, revealing the Torah. He has established and confirmed, he has honored and is continuing to fulfill, Hyphil imperfect, the eternal witness and restoring testimony, Ejuth, continually repeating the provisions required to return, attesting to these principles and stipulations, with, Jacob, reward or consequence, Jacob, my stance, Jacob, the father who became Israel, from Akab, to receive the benefit or suffer the consequence of circumventing and overreaching, digging in by being stubborn, or supplanting another. By having constituted and placed, Sum, by having appointed and directed, ordaining and establishing, perfect, the Torah, the source of teaching and guidance, instructions and directions, with, Yisrael, individuals who engage and endure with God. For the benefit of the relationship, Asher, he provided direction, Zawah, he appointed and constituted the message, enjoining it by shouting out the 698 instructions and guidelines regarding what he has commissioned, to our fathers, Abba Nakry, to make this known, La Yada Hem, to become familiar with this information, acknowledge and reveal it to their children, La Ben Hem, Mizmowr 78-5, explicitly for, La Man, for the intent of providing responsive answers to reveal to, the last, Akaroun. The final, generation, Dowrah, period of people, for children yet unborn, Ben Yalod, to rise up and encourage, Kum, to take a stand and support, Kal imperfect, a written record which is documented in a series of books, Sapah, an accurate and detailed accounting in writing proclaiming, Peel participle masculine plural, for these children, La Ben Hem. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 78:6. If we were to synthesize Yahowah's interaction with humankind into its most essential elements, they would include, 1. Creating the universe and conceiving life to enjoy a relationship with Adam in the Gan Eden. 2. Re-establishing and codifying that relationship with Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov such that we, also, might be included within the Berith. 3. Liberate the children of Israel from Miqra'ey, human oppression to demonstrate his preference for his way over man's. 4. Provide comprehensive instruction, a clear set of directions, sound teaching and guidance, through his Torah so that every generation would be able to know who Yahowah is, what he is offering, and what he is expecting in return. 5. Explain and fulfill the seven-mode Miqra'ey with his son to provide the benefits of the covenant. 6. Offer copious amounts of Nabi to prove the authenticity of his Ejuv so that his children would know who to trust and be prepared for what is going to occur. The foremost among these men is shown to be Dowd, the Mash'yah, Melech, Ra, and Ben El. And 7. Call his people back home in advance of his return because Yahowah wants to reconcile his relationship with Yisrael and Yahudah. 699 points 2, 4, 6 and 7 are highlighted within the previous declaration. As such, this is important information. While these have been Yahowah's priorities, the most important things God has done for us are to establish his covenant and reveal his Torah. And likewise, the most important thing we can do for our children is to explain the Berith and share the Torah with them. For without the Torah, there is no covenant and, thus, no means to form a relationship with God. Without the Torah, there are no Miqra'ey and, therefore, no means to salvation. Without the Torah, there is no hope of knowing God or of engaging with him. Because he is right, we benefit from Dowd's interpretations and recommendations. And they will place, Wasim, they will develop and plant, their trust and reliance, Kiselhem, their confidence and certainty, their conviction and hope, in God, Bar Elohim. Then, they will not ignore or improperly respond to, Walo Shakik, they will not overlook or be unmindful of, neither disregarding the significance of nor failing to capitalize upon, the work, Marlal, endeavors, deeds, acts or accomplishments, of God, El, and the instructive conditions regarding what he has offered and expects in return, Wa Mitswah, his authoritative directions and written instructions which comprise the terms and precepts of what he has established, from my, to consider the who, what, why, where, when, and how of Zawah, appointing, establishing, and constituting the message, then enjoining it by shouting out the instructions and directions regarding what he has commissioned, will save them, Nazar, will spare and preserve them, keeping them safe and secure by watching over them and guarding them from harm, helping 700 them branch out and grow, Kal imperfect. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 78:7. As a result of the Torah, we come to trust and rely upon God. By observing Yahowah's instructions, we come to appreciate what our Heavenly Father has done to save us. We come to realize what Yahowah is offering and appreciate what he is expecting from us in return. However, when this vital information is not shared with our children, they will find themselves drawn away from God. They are easily fooled into being religious, which actually antagonizes our Creator. And they should not be, Walohaya, they should not exist, like, Ka, similar to, their fathers, Abhem, generations, Dowrah, representing a lineage, time, and place, who were stubborn and obstinate, rebellious and recalcitrant, Sarah, set in their ways, and generations, Dowrah, a history of related individuals, backsliding and withdrawn, who were contentious and embittered, Mara, who were hostile and defiant, whose thinking and attitudes, Lab, whose judgment, inclinations, and ambitions, were not valid or trustworthy. Lo-Kun-Hu, were not prepared to be properly guided or supportive, and were not trustworthy or loyal, while Lo-Amam, were neither dependable or honorable, to the Spirit of God, Eth-El Ruach-Hu, the maternal manifestation of Yahowah's nature. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 78:8. There is a right way and a wrong one. Israel has been rebellious, contentious, and obstinate against Yahowah for over 3,000 years. It has not only gotten old, it has gotten worse. Called to be Yahowah's sterling examples, prophets, and witnesses, they have become dishonorable and disloyal. In particular, they have destroyed their relationship with the set-apart spirit, and without her 701 help, we are as good as dead and prone to do some really dumb things. The children, Beni, of Ephraim, a pseudonym for Yisrael distinct from Yahweh, meaning heap of ashes but serving as the name of the northern kingdom, have submitted to, Nashak, have yielded to a directive from and affectionately kissed up to, those who bend the truth and are cruel in their deception and betrayal, Remarkshith, and they have chosen to rely upon their arms, and, therefore, were overthrown and will be overwhelmed, Apak, were overrun and will be overturned, in the day, Bar Yaum. The battle was waged, Karab, of hostility and strife, during the conflict and internal struggle. They have not observed, Lo Shema, they did not focus upon, have not carefully examined, nor thoughtfully considered, the covenant relationship, Berith, the family-oriented agreement, of God, Elohim. And in his Torah, Wabar Torah Hu, in the source from which his instruction and teaching, guidance and direction flow, they resisted and refused, Man, they did not agree or consent, to walk, La Holak. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 78 9-10. Therefore, if you do not want to be destroyed, do not bend the truth, pick up arms, ignore the covenant, or walk away from Yahweh's Torah. And let's be clear, religious Jews removed Yahweh's name from his Torah and all but replaced it with their oral Torah. That is why Jewish Halakha leads away from God. We have gained tremendous insights into the Torah by our reading of the 78 Mizmowr and are now better prepared for future events as a result of the song being sung in Yasha'yah. Therefore, let's show our appreciation for these gifts by reviewing them for everyone's benefit. 702 This is a call to be circumspect, to understand, and to prosper, Maskell, for the purpose of, La, opening the storehouse and valuing these treasures, Asaph. My people, Ameni, you should choose to listen and to respond, Arjan, to my Torah, teaching and guidance, Torah Eni. Please choose to incline, Nata, your ears, Erzan Atom, to the words, La Ema, of my mouth, Pei Eni. Mizmowr 78-1. I will open, Pata, my mouth, articulating the words, Pei Eni, within, Bar, the marshal, Proverbs, marshal. I will prolifically pour out, Nobber, riddles to be solved, challenging puzzles to stimulate your thinking, hidden things to be known, and questions to be answered which, when the intrigue is resolved, illuminates that which would not otherwise be understood, chydah, from long ago, Min Kidem. Mizmowr 78-2. This is all part of and related to what, Asher we have heard, Shama, and we have come to know, acknowledging from Yada, Yada, our fathers, Abanakhu, communicated to us in writing, La Sapar La Nakhu. Mizmowr 78-3. We will not conceal this, Lo Kakad, from the children, Min Benhem, of the last generation, La Dawa Akaroun, so that they will have a written record which is documented in a series of books, Sapar, revealing Yahweh's positive attributes and listing his exceptional deeds while offering our appreciation, Tehillah Yahowah. With his unwavering determination and enormous power, as Yahweh, he has done, Wasah, awesomely wonderful things, fulfilling his promises at great personal cost, Pala Hu, to provide the benefits of the relationship, Asher. Mizmowr 78-4. 703 He has established and confirmed, Qum, the eternal witness and restoring testimony, Ejuth, with, Yaakov, by having constituted and placed, Sum, the Torah, with, Yisrael. For the benefit of the relationship, Asher, he provided directions, Zawah, to our fathers, Eth Abanakhu, to make this known, La Yadahem, to their children, La Benhem, Mizmowr 78-5, explicitly for, La Man, the last, Akaroun, generation, Dower, for children yet unborn, Ben Yelod, to rise up and support, Qum, a written record which is documented in a series of books, Sapar, for their descendants, La Benhem. Mizmowr 78-6. And they will place, Wasim, their trust and reliance, their confidence and conviction, Kiselhem, in God, Bar Elohim. Then, they will not ignore or improperly respond to, Lo Shakak, the work, Malal, of God, El. And the instructive conditions regarding what he has offered and expects in return, Mitswah Hu, will save them, Nazar. Mizmowr 78-7. And they should not be, Lo Higher, like, Kar, similar to, their fathers, Abhem, generations, Dower, who were stubborn and obstinate, rebellious and recalcitrant, Sarah, and generations, Dower, who were contentious and embittered, Mara, whose thinking and attitudes, Labe, were not valid or trustworthy, Lokum Hu, and were not trustworthy or loyal, Loaman, to the Spirit of God, Eth El Ruach Hu. Mizmowr 78-8. The children, Beni, of Ephraim, have submitted to, Nashak, those who bend the truth and are cruel in their deception and betrayal, remark Shith, and therefore, they were overthrown and will be 704 overwhelmed, Hapak, in the day, Var Yaum, the battles are waged, Karab. They have not observed, Lo Shema, the covenant relationship, Barith, of God, Elohim. And in his Torah, Wabar Torah Hu, they have resisted and refused, Man, to walk, La Holak. Mizmowr, lyrics, Psalm 78 9-10. One warning and song would lead to the other. And so, you will say on that day, Wa Amar Ba Ha Yaum Ha Hu, look now and see, Hine, Yahowah, Yahowah. This is our God, Elohim Nakry Zay. We have waited expectantly for him, Kawa La Hu. He has saved us, Yasha'yah Nakry. This is, Zay, Yahowah, Yahowah, whom we have anticipated, Kawa La Hu. We are rejoicing and glad, Jilwa Samak, in his liberation and deliverance, Bar Yeshua Hu. Yasha'yah, 25-9. During this day, Bar Ha Yaum Ha Hu, they will sing this song, Shah Zay, in the land of Yahweh, Bar Erez Yahweh, our city has been empowered and is strengthened, Eros La Nakry, becoming a place of salvation, Yasha'yah Ch, protected and fortified, Chama Wakil. Yasha'yah, 26-1. Open your gates and doors, Patak Shah, so that the correct and righteous Gawi, Gawi Zadik, who has been observant, Shema, and is trustworthy, Emun, may enter, Bo. Yasha'yah, 26-2. Thoughtful, inspired, and motivated, Yetzah, upheld, supported, and steadfast, Samak, you watch over and protect, Nazar, the one who is completely devoted to reconciliation, Shalom. Indeed, he is with you, Kyhu Bar Otter, always and forever, trusting and relying, Bachvak, upon 705 Yahweh's eternal witness and restoring testimony, Bar Yahowah Ad. Yasha'yah, 26-3-4. The way, Arak, of the correct one, Laha Zadik, is honest, fair, and in complete agreement, my Sherim. You have made it possible, Palas, for the direction and the teaching, Magol, of the one who is right, Zadik, to be straightforward, and on the level, Yashar. Yasha'yah, 26-7. And so as a result, Yahowah, Yahowah, we confidently wait, anticipating these benefits, Kawa, by way, Aura, of your Mishpat, exercising good judgment regarding your means to resolve the disputes which divide us, Mishpat Otter, of your name, La Shem Otter, of your Torah, Wala Torah Otter, and for the pleasure and satisfaction it brings to our souls, such that this is what we desire, Tawa Nipeshanaknu. Yasha'yah, 26-8. Through whom, Ethmai, will he teach and then make openly known, Yara, the means to exercise good judgment, and become aware of the relationship, Dia. And through whom, Wa Ethmai, will he provide the ability to understand, Bin, this message, Shemuah. Those who are being weaned, Jamal, from milk, Min Shalab, and who have just been taken, Atik, from the breast, Min Sad. Yasha'yah, 28-9. To the contrary, KY, it is instruction after instruction, Solatzor, the terms of what is being offered and the conditions of what is expected, Solatzor, line after line, Kor, in another language, Kor, a little guidance from one location, Zer Sham, more teaching from another place, Zer Sham. Yasha'yah, 28-10. For indeed, KY, with foreign lips speaking a currently unfamiliar language, with stammering speech filled with derisive and often mocking overtones, 706 to ridicule, La apostrophe E.G. Safa, and in a future foreign tongue in the last days, Wabar Lashon, he will continuously speak, Dabar, to these particular people in this family, El Ha-Hazay, Yasha'yah 28:11, to whom, and to show the way to the benefits of the relationship, Asher, he is actively expressing on their behalf, Amar Elhem, this will provide spiritual tranquility and contentment, Jothar Manukan Yuvak, for those seeking to be nourished and to recuperate, Laha Af. This is the means to find relief and be restored after having left a bad situation, Wa Jothar Marja. But many will be unwilling, remaining opposed to him, unaccepting because of their obedience to their fathers, and thus unwilling, Wa Lower Bar, to listen, Shama. Yasha'yah, 28:12. Therefore, Wa, the word, Dabar, of Yahowah, Yahowah, will be for them, Hayalahem, blah blah blah, worthless filth and futility, Solatzor, just a bunch of commandments, Solatzor, a drumbeat of endless rules, Kor, nothing but one line after another of meaningless gibberish, Kor, a little from one place, Zer Sham, a little more from another place, Zer Sham. As a result, they will walk accordingly, La Man Holak, and they will stumble and fall, Wa Kashal, in the end and upon their asses, Akor. They will be scrutinized and broken, wa Shabuw'ah, ensnared and immobilized, wa Yasha'yah laked. Yasha'yah 28:13. Therefore, Ken, listen to the word, Shema Dabar, of Yahweh, Yahowah, you braggarts using derisive language to rule over, Ishlatson marshal, the people for your benefit, Asher, in Yerushalayim, Bar Yerushalayim. Yasha'yah 28:14. Indeed, you have said, Kyamar, we have made a covenant, Karat Barith, with the dead, and thus with 707 former rabbis, Ethmoith. And so, in the company of Shaul, Shaul, we will act upon this agreement received from the writers of long ago, Asar Chosa. Therefore, during the overwhelming chastisement, it will all pass through without affecting us, Shoth Shataf Ky Obar Lobo Anaknu, because, Ky, we have arranged, Sim, lies, deceptions, and delusions Kazab, as our refuge, Makesa Naktu. In these false claims and upon this dishonest witness, Wabaha Sheka, we will hide to conceal ourselves, Satar. Yasha'yah 28:15. As a result, Ky, Yahweh, Yahowah, will take a stand to re-establish and restore, consistent with what occurred at Mount Paratsim, breaking free, Kaha Paratsim, like the Amak, profound implications of Gibeon, lifting up, Mekbar Gibeon. He will be provoked to anger, sufficiently enraged, Ragas, to engage and do what he needs to accomplish, La Sarmasehu, working with the non-Israelite, Zarmasehu, furthering his work, while La Badabodathu, with the Nakry, observant and responsive foreigner, Nakry, who is serving him, Abodahu. Yasha'yah 28:21. So now, at this time, Otter, go about, Bo, writing this, Katab high, against them, Ethem, upon a tablet or flat panel screen, Luvak. Then, inscribe it in a book, Wa al Sefer Chakak high. It will be for, Wa Hayalah, the last days, Yaumacharan, serving as an enduring witness, La ad Olam. Yasha'yah 30:8. This is because they are a contentious and rebellious people, Kym Merry Hugh, lying children, Ben Kakash, children who are unwilling to listen, Ben Loabar Shama, to Yahweh's, Yahowah, Torah. Yasha'yah 30:9. 708. As a result of their relationships, they say to those who expose their religion, Asher Amar Laha Roa, are you unable to see, Lo Ra? And to those who claim to communicate a message from God, Walaha Chosa, have you no insights or any clue as to what is going to happen, Lo Chaza, to us, La Anakyu? With your illusions and deceptive visions, Chaza Mahatala, what can you honestly speak to us about that is flattering and legitimate, Nakoch Dabar La Anakyu Chalak? Yasha'yah 30:10. Leave, choosing to remove yourself, Sur, from this path, Min Derek, turning aside from behaving this way, Nata Min Aura. Observe and celebrate the Shabat, from our presence before, Min Pana Naknueth, the set-apart one, Kodesh of Yisrael. Yasha'yah 30:11. However, La Ken, thus says, Koamar, the set-apart one of Yisrael, Kodesh Yisrael, since, Yan, for the longest time, you have rejected and demonstrably spurned, even continually disdained, Marsota, that which is associated with this message, Bahada Bahazeh, and have relied upon, Wabatach, extortion and oppression, Oshik, by being devious and misleading, Luz, actually depending upon this approach, Wasan el-Hu, Yasha'yah 30:12, as a result, therefore, La Ken, this religious wrongdoing, Ha-Ewan Hazeh, will come to be for all of you, Hayalatam, like a breach in a crumbling high wall, Kar Peretz Bar Choma Sagab, which is defective, bulging out, and about to collapse, Nafal Bar, suddenly and unexpectedly, Asher Pitom La Peter, coming upon them, crashing down, and crippling them, Bo Shebahu. Yasha'yah, Yahweh liberates and saves, Isaiah 30:13. 709. Should you not yet be part of the covenant, you may want to consider stepping aside before you and those you love get caught up in the rubble.